Thanks for the invitation to do a feature. And as Stu mentioned in the promo that went out, I'm going to do songs. Whoops, I just saw something that said this was being recorded, and I need to get that out of the way. There we go. So I'm going to do songs and story. I might read a couple of stories or excerpts from this book that has just been published. It's called, can you see that? Travelers, Stories and Songs in the Key of Connection. And it's a collection of original stories, nonfiction stories and songs. The stories all reflect musical encounters that I've had either in my travels or here at home. In fact, it's broken up into three parts. The On the Road is part one, part two is At Home, and part three is a set of instrumentals. So each of these parts has an interweaving of songs and stories. And that's what I'm going to do tonight. So this first one is called Talking About Greed and Hypocrisy. And you've probably heard about the Pandora Papers that have just been exposed, as it were. There's 12 million pieces of information, 12 million records about the goings-on, the shenanigans of the ultra-rich and their offshore wheeling and dealing. I should say the filthy rich rather than the ultra-rich. And it's you wouldn't believe who's been rubbing shoulders with Putin. Canadians, Americans, you name it. So I'm going to do this song called Talking About Greed and Hypocrisy, and I'll just read the introductory notes to this. Trinidad is the birthplace of Calypso, and Mighty Sparrow is one of its most famous Calypsonians. His 1983 hit, Capitalism Gone Mad, is a witty commentary on the system. Here's a quote. Avariciousness, to be precise, is why every damn thing is overpriced. That's a line from his song. Trinidad has a boom and bust economy dominated by the oil and natural gas industry. Sound familiar? Yeah. Sparrow's song inspired me to write this one. It's got a chorus. Pick it up if you can. How's that? Sad to say, plain to see, talking about greed and hypocrisy. Sad to say, and it's plain to see, too much greed and hypocrisy. Whoa, well, I'm just coming back from Trinidad. Mighty Sparrow, he sings, capitalism gone mad. Same thing's happening in my country. It's all around me and it's plain to see. Everybody's talking about buy and sell. Nobody thinking about how to keep well. People in a panic to buy the next thing, rushing to hear the cash register ring. It don't matter how it's made or if it be nice, just as long as we can have it at the lowest price. If we keep consuming, we're bound to explode, dumping our trash like we're dumping a load. Whoa, sad to say, plain to see, talking about greed and hypocrisy. Sad to say, and it's plain to see, so much greed and hypocrisy. Whoa. Politicians promise to set us right, then they sell us out on the carbon fight. They bribe us with money, with jobs, with plans, but what good is a job that destroys the land? Poor things hiding their heads in the sands, it's blocking their view, exposing their behinds. They don't understand what's plain to see. They being screwed by the oil companies, executives with their shady scams, boardroom bullies who don't give a damn. Another mansion on top of the hill, another billion in their offshore till. Whoa, sad to say, plain to see, talking about greed and hypocrisy. Oh, sad to say, and it's plain to see, so much greed and hypocrisy. Oh, oh, well, I'm just coming back from Trinidad. Mighty sparrow, he sings, capitalism gone mad. Thank you. That's my protest poem for the day.
When was that original by Mighty Sparrow written? 1983?
Yes, in 1983.
Yeah. Boy, we learn fast, don't we?
What can I say? I mean, Trinidad has, much reflected in the, it's pretty well reflected in the Alberta oil and gas economy, and you would think that we might learn something exactly. Anyways, I'm going to read a little bit from one of the stories in this first section. Like that song, this story is in the first section called On the Road. And I don't know if you're aware, but the Beatles followed me around, and I just want to tell you a little bit about that. This story is called The Beatles Followed Me Around. Those pesky Beatles, they followed me around for 6 years over land and sea. Couldn't shake them off, no matter how far I roamed. And their songs? Earworms, all of them, still rattling round in my brain. There I was in Washington, D.C., minding my own business. Mrs. Kiger, our socials teacher at Gordon Junior High, was determined to pound ancient history into our young heads, a welcome relief from the diet of wars I'd been treated to the previous year. The Revolutionary War, the War of 1812, Tea for Texas and the Alamo, the Civil War, the Spanish-American War, World Wars I and II, the Korean War, and now the Cold War, which was heating up. Americans sure love their wars. While Kiger the Tiger was blathering on about Greek and Roman ruins, Terry's hair was growing longer. Terry sat in front of me in history class, and each week his hair crept further down his neck, spilling over his collar and forehead and ears. Didn't take me long to figure out what was going on. It was February 1964, and the Beatles were launching an invasion, landing at New York's recently renamed JFK Airport. They took the States by storm as we huddled around our TV sets watching the Ed Sullivan Show. Some of you will remember that. Sharon sat next to Terry in Kiger's class. Her blonde bouffant hairdo, red sweater, and plaid skirt making a stylish statement. Love, love me do, I silently pleaded of Sharon. But she loves you, yeah, 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 was not to be. Instead, Sharon was doing her own I wanna hold your hand, dreaming about Gary, The crew-cut, jock-strap basketball center sprawled over a nearby desk. Blech! So there's much more along those lines, which weaves my journey with the Beatles. I'll just give you one little last piece of it. At one point, I went to see on a freighter, learning to be a trainee deck officer. The following year, the Beatles skipped off to India to sample transcendental meditation and write songs for the next album, and I shipped out later that year on the Truter, a Hain-Norse P&O freighter, as a trainee deck officer. The second steward bought his newly minted copy of the Beatles, the White Album, with him. Once again, the Beatles followed me around, this time from the coast of Europe, around Africa's Cape of Good Hope to the Red Sea, and back. Get back, sang Paul. So in the spring of 1969, I signed off the freighter and headed back to London, landing on my sister's doorstep, helping paint the walls of her Dartford flat to the strains of Hey Jude from the tinny little speaker on a lime green transistor radio. Na 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 na, Hey Jude. That summer, George, John, and Ringo, along with Patty, Yoko, and Maureen, joined me and 150,000 others at the second Isle of Wight Festival to watch Bob Dylan take the stage in Britain's answer to Woodstock's 3 days of peace and music. Anyways, it goes on like that. So if you want to read the rest of it, you can get a copy of this book from me. I'm going to move on to the next part in the book, which has to do with at home. And I'd like to sing a song out of that part. The song is called Stillness, and it's my reflection of a part of Canada, a part of BC that my family and I used to visit every summer. I'll just read from the book here. This song, Stillness, was slow to take form. It started with a few lines scribbled at a songwriting workshop led by David Francie, part of a pre-festival boot camp offered at the 2011 Calgary Folk Festival. I'm a big fan of David's poetic imagery and strong singable melodies. Stillness was in no hurry to emerge. The incomplete lyrics lay on the shelf, picked at every now and then as inspiration came and went. I dabbled with different tunes and rhythms and had to let it go a few times for it to resurface and settle. And now it feels done. And those of you who are songwriters know how that feels. You can get so far in a song and feel stuck. You put it on the shelf, you pick at it every now and then, and with a bit of luck, it'll get done at some point. So this is Stillness, and it's got a kind of a folk tango rhythm to it. Goes like this. Yellow moon shimmering high, blue lake mirrors a mystic sky. Stillness deep within my mind. Shadows on the empty road behind. Rustle leaves on the forest floor. Ripple of wavelets by the shore. Whisper of wind between the pines, shadows on the empty road behind, spirit of essence and grace, deeply divine within this place. Echoes of another world and time, shadows on the empty road behind, yellow moon shimmering high, blue lake mirrors a mystic sky, stillness deep within my mind, shadows on the empty road behind, stillness deep within my mind, shadows on the empty road behind.
Nice one.
Beautiful song, Gary.
Thank you. Thank you. You know, it occurred to me, oh, by the way, what a great first half. Thank you, everyone, for warming us all up. And it occurred to me while I was listening to everyone how comfortable we are getting in front of Zoom. And it also, you know, it's just great. Everyone's relaxed, everyone's comfortable. It just feels like a really warm environment. And I started to think, I wonder whether, you know, we'll be able to perform, we'll know how to perform live again, right? We'll get so used to this, right? Anyways, I'd like to read a poem that starts this. Oh, and by the way, I just want to point out that that's okay. So, just want to show you that all the lyrics and the chords and the score to each of the songs is in this book. So it reads like a songbook, but it also reads like a book of short stories. And the two are interleaved somewhat loose in a kind of a loose narrative flow. So it acts as a coffee table book, or you can crack it open because it's got this wire binding, and put it on your music stand and hopefully sing something from it. So here's a poem, and the poem is called An Old Friend. And maybe you can guess what the poem is about. It's a short poem. An Old Friend. She stands near at hand as I glance sideways over my shoulder, and I realize how close a companion she has become. Beautifully sculpted curves, gorgeously rich-toned body, strikingly handsome features. Yet nothing is overdressed here. Just a simple cedar top, darkened over the years, matched with black walnut, back and sides, and contrasting maple binding. Local woods, all. Handcrafted. She's unique. She stands out in a crowd. I am proud to be seen in her company, and she sings with a voice clear and true. Someday, when my fingers are no longer strong enough to strum and pick and play, I hope younger hands will embrace her beauty and let her voice ring. And that's a poem about an old friend, my guitar. Yeah. And that is what the poem looks like in form. Intended to resemble somewhat a guitar. I'm going to go to a song now that's called Time to Unwind. It looks like this in the book. And I'll just read the introductory notes. I came back from a trip to the Caribbean with the seeds of this song percolating around my brain. A little self-advice. To remember not to sweat the small stuff. It didn't take long for the song to incubate, hatch, grow wings, and fly. And it's become a staple in the repertoire of my acoustic blues group, the Juke Joint Jokers. So, here's Time to Unwind. So tired, feeling wild. Take time to unwind. Don't get caught, 'cause life's too short. Let go the monkey in the mind, oh yeah. Let go the monkey in the mind. Slow down, wipe that frown, and just let it slip away. No sense in thinking too dense. A new dawn brings a new day, oh yeah. A new dawn brings a new day. Don't fuss it, easy does it. Let go the anger and pain. No upsets, no regrets. It all comes round again. Sing it with me. It all comes round again. Time heals if it feels like the moment to let it go. So fast the die is cast. Time to go with the flow, oh yeah. Time to go with the flow. Get hip, don't trip, watch for the double bind. Clear your brain and let peace reign. Take time to unwind, oh yeah. Take time to unwind, yeah, yeah. Take time to unwind, oh, won't you take time to unwind? Take time to unwind. Take time to unwind, yeah, yeah. Take time to unwind. monkey in the mine.
Encore.
Oh,
Encore.
well, thank you so much. If you're interested in the book, what I'll do is I'll put my email address in the chat. It's Barry Truter, my name, at yahoo.ca. Barry Truter at whoops. Barry Truter. That,
Hey, Dave, you gotta mute.
oh, you're sounding so much like the Chipmunks there. Yeah, so Barry Truter at yahoo.ca, right? And yeah, love to, if you'd like to have a look at it, we'll find a time to share that. Okay, so I'll finish off with the song that kicks off the book. It's the first song in the book. It's called Let Your Heart Lead. And this is what it says. The poster on the wall next to my writing desk shows twin dirt tracks running alongside a wooden fence through an avenue of trees leading to an open meadow. The caption reads, "If you keep your head and heart going in the right direction, you don't have to worry about your feet." And that's an African proverb, and it's right there on the wall. I created a first version of Let Your Heart Lead while getting ready for a trip to South Africa with a group of singers to study music. Once there, we holed up for a week in a beautiful retreat center learning a repertoire of songs in Xhosa and Zulu. The next week, we moved to Cape Town for more performances with local choirs in township churches and community centers, a cathedral, and a prison. The day we visited Table Mountain, I flashed back to the 18-year-old seafarer I had been on a freighter, sailing first east and then a few months later back west around the Cape. I remember leaning on the ship's rail on a clear and calm evening, watching the sun slowly melt into the iconic Cape Town landscape. And here I was, decades later, this time looking out to sea from the mountain rather than the other way around. When I got home after the trip, I let the spirit of the music I'd been exposed to seep into the final arrangement of the song. So this is Let Your Heart Lead. And thank you again for inviting me. I appreciate it. Lovely to be here.
We're happy to have you.
Let your heart lead, and your feet will follow. Let your light shine, set your spirit free. We are seekers from above, children of our Mother Earth, so let your heart lead, follow the beat. Let your heart lead, and your feet will follow. Let your mind rest, set your spirit free. We are children of the sun, each apart and all as one. So let your heart lead, follow the beat. feet will follow. Open up and set your spirit free. We are shapers of our fate, tearing down these walls of hate. So let your heart lead. Follow the beat, follow the beat, follow the beat, follow. Let your heart lead. Follow the beat. Let your heart lead. Follow the beat. Follow the beat. Follow the beat. Follow the beat.
Awesome. Barry, thanks so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, great job, Barry. Thank you. Thank you. Wonderful.